Yeah, it's great. I suppose it's the challenge. When we took over the club for the management was to get the club back up the table. And I think at my opening press conference when I was appointed, we were looking at sort of targeting European football straight away. And we've all had fantastic nights. Personally, myself as a player, I was in Europe a long time. And as a supporter, obviously we had fantastic days as well, particularly in the 2000s. So it's been a long time missing. It's great to be back, and there's a great buzz about it, and everyone's looking forward to it.
What do you know about your opposition for?
Know an awful, know a lot. Have them well checked out. Very good side, some very good players. We've done a lot of work on them, particularly in the last 3 or 4 days, and we know what we have to do to get a positive result. And they're a good side, but it's important for us to play well.
John, on team news, Cork's last European match, Dennis Bean was sent off, so he's obviously suspended. But is there any other team news? That's humorous for me.
Well, I'm not available, Pat, or John Cotter. The situation is John Cavan is out. Alan Smith is out. And Johnny Dunleavy is 50-50. He's back training with us. Might make the panel, may not. He's probably maybe a couple of weeks too short at the moment. But from that point of view, they're the two guys that are out. Everyone else has trained, and a few niggles, but I presume everyone will turn up tomorrow looking to play.
It's so lucrative now to be involved in European football that the league is actually going to take a backseat in the next few weeks. Even so, with games now being postponed, which suits you a lot more to prepare for the games.
Well, I think from a European point of view, it suits. Personally, as a manager, it's a difficult one. I suppose it's later on in the year you'll see whether it suited you or not. Didn't suit you, because ultimately, your league is your week in, week out, and you have to perform well in the league, because one, you have to qualify for Europe. Two, there's a trophy at stake. At the moment, it's probably good that we have a week's break. We played a draw the game a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 6 weeks ago, which helped us. But yeah, the situation is that it gives us a full week to concentrate in Europe, and the money is very big, and I think the tie is going to be very tight, so it's important for us to play our top game, and I think if we perform very well, we have a real opportunity to get through. But you're right, the money is massive, and it's very important to the club.
You've been involved yourself in so many 22 or more European matches, John. What is the standout memory? Would it be Munich at home?
Absolutely, I suppose. I think it was a different era, different time. The chances of drawing a team that's in the top 3 or 4 in the world now is impossible unless you get to the qualifying stages. So it was unique at that time before the seeding came in, and I suppose that time we approached it was more like a holiday than it was our bonus for getting into Europe, was where we were going to get to. But obviously, I think Bayern Munich, the home game 1-1, was probably the greatest result ever by a League of Ireland club in Europe, because while this club has had fantastic results and other clubs have had fantastic results, no one has had a result against Barcelona, Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. They're the top 3 teams in the world, so I think that was an incredible day. But that was years ago. They're probably memories for the players that were there. Tomorrow's put us our team back in Europe, the crowd expectations, and hopefully try to progress.
And finally, from now, whatever result in Turner's Cross against Reykjavik, you will still say at full time it's only half time on 2 legs.
Well, that's the way it will be.
Are you looking for a specific result? You've got 3 I suppose.
I think it's a situation where no matter what, I think the way the teams are so matched, I think that no matter what way the score is tomorrow night, I think the second leg it'll still be a tight game. So obviously we're hoping that we'll have an advantage coming out of tomorrow night's game, but at the same time I think it's a type of game where both teams can cause problems in both away grounds, and the teams are quite even, so that's why I think it'll go right to the wire. And but obviously we'd hope to get out of Turner's Cross tomorrow night with a win.
And then it's been suspended.
John, on tomorrow night, you saw a bit of Reykjavik already. In that respect, how do you think you're going to approach the game tomorrow night, the first leg at home? How will you approach?
Well, we're approaching the game to try and win the match. Obviously, being the home team, we're hoping not to concede. We feel we need to score a couple of goals, and we expect them to play in the counter attack. Defensively, they're strong, so we expect them probably to come, not to concede and try and hit us on the counter. So we have to be aware of that. We watched a lot of them, and but we think there are areas that we can cause problems. And I suppose being at home, the onus is on us to see can we get the win.
Experience will come for a lot as well. A number of your players have a lot of experience in Europe as well, John. And you're playing really well away from home as well. Consider that's a good positive going into it. You're not conceding a lot.
Well, I suppose from an experience point of view, we have loads of it, which is great. I suppose that, the fantastic thing about Europe, we're playing a team that we've never played before, and there's always a novelty factor. We've done a lot of work on the players. I've watched them. There's some really, really good players. We see there's maybe opportunities where we can exploit them, but we're also well aware that there's areas that they could hurt us that we have to be careful about. But at the same time, I suppose in a tight game like this, you certainly don't want to come out tomorrow night losing the match. But the positive result for us would be obviously to win the match and go over there with a lead.
They're in season as well, which is you were hoping they wouldn't be with a plus, but they're 9 to 10 games in as well.
Yeah, and the big thing, I was hoping that personally before the draw was made, simply because there is a big difference, for a team that's halfway through a season after 20 or 22 matches against a team that have played no competitive match. It's a big advantage. But obviously they're like ourselves. They're near the top of the table. They've had a very good run over the last 4 or 5 matches. They're unbeaten, haven't really conceded. So they're in good run of form at the moment. So that's why I expect it to be tight. So that's why I think it's such an even game. And I know from the work we've done and from people being over watching them as well that they fancy their chances, which is good. And maybe they might underestimate us. We're not sure, but certainly we have to play at our best to beat them tomorrow night, and hopefully we can do that.
Is it good for the squad, obviously, to have? I think there were 5 in the panel tonight that asked him against Haka are still with the club, and amongst those you have 2 kind of proven European goal scorers in Jan Murray and Liam Carney. That must be a huge boost for the rest of that.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't really. The fact that the lads have played in Europe, it just means they've been used to travelling to different countries and have that experience. But I would say the big difference nowadays is that the difference between our game here locally in the League of Ireland has changed dramatically in the last 10, 15 years compared to my day. It's much more about keeping the ball. There's a lot more passing, a lot more about retaining possession, like European football is. Whereas probably in the old days when I played, there was much more get up to the front guy, get at them, kick and rush, and a lot of that. And even though there was fantastic players, that was just the way it was, and that's the way the pitches were. I think the game has evolved and developed, and I think the style of play, even in our own league, when you look at us playing Pats and Dundalk and whatever, it's all about keeping possession, penetrating, and I think sort of it's more like we've evolved to more like a European game. So while the lads have experienced before, I think in general we're more equipped to play that European type of football, because you can't go hell for leather all the time. That's just the way the game is, and you come up against teams that technically are very good and they keep the ball, so you have to be patient. So it's that type of game. But I think our league is like that now, and tactically it's a lot more challenging. So I think it's probably that's why the Irish clubs over the last number of years are probably doing well, because they're getting suited to that type of football.
John, there's a nice little European buzz around the city this week. What role do the fans have to play tomorrow night? How important is their part to know it?
Well, I'm appealing again to say that I hope we don't miss the opportunity, in the sense that I hope our numbers are massive. We waited a long time to get back into Europe. There's a lot of hype in the last season when we got back in, and I just hope the fans come out in huge numbers. It's a difficult week. There's a lot of sporting events around Cork with the Munster final and the hurlers all involved, and I'm appealing to fans to come out in huge numbers, because I think that's the area that maybe might upset Reykjavik. They mightn't be used to the intensity of our crowd and the crowd on the pitch, and if we could have a near sellout crowd, the atmosphere, as we know, it's fantastic, and I think there's no doubt it's a huge benefit to us. So I'm appealing to the crowd to come out in big numbers, because in Europe it's unique, it's novel. We've waited a long time to get back in, and I'm appealing to people just to make that effort to get out there and see, can we create, as I keep saying, the 12th man, because there's no doubt, yourself, you're the shed in, the noise and whatever, it does upset opposition teams, and they're not used to our crowd, and it's important for us to create a big atmosphere.
Well versed in this European game, having played with Rovers, was the group stages, wasn't
Yeah,
it? The Europa League. So we'll be able to show this young man here what to do on tomorrow night.
yeah, it's obviously nice. I've obviously gone and done it before and played in Europe, and obviously it was a very successful time when I did play. But I don't think it matters really if you have played or haven't played. And I'd never played in it before, and we went on and had great success. So I think maybe it's just all about taking each game as it comes, really, and obviously go tomorrow and try and get the win.
And happy with your own form. You scored again last week.
Yeah, I am. I set a target at the start of the season. I wanted to hit near 20 goals, and obviously it might have changed a bit because I'm a bit more on the wing, but I'm sort of on the way to getting that target, so hopefully I can hit that by the end of the season.
And morale in the camp, good?
Yeah, it's brilliant, especially, as you said, Liam Carney. He hasn't he's certainly been helping morale this week by bringing up his goal every chance he's got, so that's going well to minute.
Kevin, for you, it's all new, is it? This is obviously all new to you, and
Yeah, it's a new start for me. I suppose I'm looking forward to the experience of it all, take it all in. But it's a big thing not to get overwhelmed by it. Just take it in as we go out. But once the game starts, at the end of the day, it's just another game of football, and we obviously go out and try to get the win, and that'll be the most important thing.
it must be a bit of a whirlwind for yourself though. You've come in, you've got into the team, you've stayed in the team, you've done well, and you've the prospect of playing European football now.
Yeah, well, it helps with the team I came into. Everyone made me feel welcome, and straight away then you just get your head down and work hard, and hopefully hope that the hard work pays off. And for me it did so far, but it doesn't stop there. You have to keep going, and hopefully we can get a good run now in Europe and enjoy it as we go along.
I suppose keeping a clean sheet while it is imperative.
Yeah, it is. Obviously the away goal is massive in Europe. Seeing that myself when I had played in it before, that really in the home games you have to try your best not to concede, and obviously when you're away, if you can get nick an away goal, it's massive for the team. Like, you know that at the end of the day it's almost worth 2 goals. So tomorrow hopefully we can keep a clean sheet and rob 1 or 2.
Are you glad you're playing at home first? Would you rather be away first?
Personally myself, I prefer being home first, because then when you go over there, if we go over there with a lead, it's quite easy to make their fans get on their back. But if you sit back and maybe have a bit of time wasting their usually away fans get a bit hostile and don't really enjoy it. So hopefully we can, as I said, get a goal or 2 and keep the clean sheet.
Yeah, they pushed Celtic last year at home. I think it was 1-0. I know Celtic beat them 4-0 in Glasgow, but they're pretty handy enough, obviously, by that standard.
They are, yeah. We did a lot of homework on them this week, and they've a lot of good players. We were watching them a bit quite strong on set pieces as well. They've quite a tall physical team as well at the back. We certainly have our work cut out for us, but hopefully we can go out and get the win tomorrow.
And they're in the same position in the league. I think they're second as well, just behind the leaders.
Yeah, they are second place now. I think 3 points off top. I think they are, and it's obviously winning's a habit, like, and it's obviously comes into Europe. Both of us have good form going into it, so hopefully we can be the ones who hopefully take the edge.
How different do you expect it to be, Carl, from a league game with, say, the European match tactically and so on, and your own role? Do you think it'll be a bit different from a domestic game?
Yeah, I definitely think it is. From playing it before, I think it's a lot more tactical when you go into Europe. I know that our game plan tomorrow is obviously we want to get at them a bit, and obviously we know how they play, so tactically we're ready for them. But I know in Europe you maybe get a bit more time than you would in the league. Our league's a good league in terms of pressing and teams being right at it, whereas maybe some European teams are a bit more used to passing, and hopefully we can push our game in on them and they won't be used to it.
Right, that's great. Thanks a million.